All right, so we left the last lecture talking about second degree price discrimination, and this is like buy two, get a discount, buy three, get a discount. And I asked you to think about what that might look like. So what it's going to look like, I'll show you. Let's say you buy two, this is the price. Let's say you buy four, that's the price. Okay, so what's going to happen is the profits are going to go up and you're able to charge different prices. So clearly I'm not going to focus a whole lot on second degree price discrimination. I think third degree price discrimination is much more interesting and common. So that's what I'm going to do now. So this is the practice of charging different prices based on systemic differences in demand across demographic consumer groups. So this is the case where you can charge two groups of people two different prices and it like looks okay. All right. So I was driving into work today and I thought, oh, Black Friday is the perfect example of this. So I don't know if any of you went to actual stores on Black Friday, but if you went to actual stores, you probably got discounts. Now let's think about this. The people who are willing to get out of bed in the morning and wait in line have a very elastic demand, right? So stores like want to give them discounts. People like me who stay far, far away from stores on Black Friday, I'm willing to pay a higher price for stuff, right? So they're able to charge me higher prices. So the book has this example, which the answer is beyond what I taught you, but let's just think through the general rule. Suppose you're the manager of a pizzeria that produces at a marginal cost of $6 per pizza. The pizzeria is a local monopoly near campus. During the day, only students eat at your restaurant. In the evening, while students are studying, faculty members eat there. All right, so it says students have an elasticity of demand for pizza of -4. So that's elastic. Yeah, that makes sense. Students are super poor, right? And they also like, I don't know, when I was a student, I just paid a lot of attention to prices. I was like young and fit and I would walk further to get cheaper pizza, right? Faculty members also have an elastic demand, but it's less elastic. Yeah, we've got more money. Like I've got a family. I'm not, paying as much attention to prices. So what should your pricing policy be to maximize profits? Let's think about it. Who should you charge the lower price to? Students, right? You should charge a higher price to me. Faculty members. So how are you going to do that? Well, there's two ways. One, you can give a student discount, right? And the second is you can charge less for lunch. Both of these look okay, right? No one's going to be upset. I'm not going to be like, that store offers student discounts, I'm upset. I'm just like, I'm not a student, right? So your book actually has a rule on how to get marginal revenue through elasticity. You're welcome to take a look at it. But basically, they solve the problem and they say the price for lunch should be $8 and the price for dinner should be $12. That's third degree price discrimination. So to me, this is one of the coolest parts of economics because when you realize this, you can get good deals. So who should you charge a higher price to? The person with an inelastic demand, okay? Give a lower price to elastic demand. So this is a little activity I go through in class. Who should get the lower price? All right, first one. Business travelers versus leisure airline travelers. Who's got the inelastic demand? Business travelers, right? Someone else is paying for them. I have this friend who's a lawyer, a financial services lawyer, and one day he was talking to me and he's like, yeah, that flight from Chicago to JFK on United, you can get business class for only like $200 more. And it's like, I'm just looking at him like, do you know who you're talking to? Right? Like his business is paying for it. Also, he's a lot richer than I am. So what's going to happen is business travelers are the ones that buy the tickets like right before the flight. And that's why prices are higher right before the flight. With that said, weird things are happening with COVID, like Joe pointed out, I think it was Joe's, where sometimes they're overshooting the supply. And so you can actually get last minute deals right now. But from what I read, those are only going to last about a month more, like 2 months more with international. Anyway, people booking hotel rooms for a wedding or leisure travel. Who's got the inelastic demand? Wedding, right? People going for a wedding. If I just went to a wedding in Florida, actually, I didn't stay at the hotel. because I know this stuff, right? But the hotel rate was like $250 a night. Everyone paid it except for us because they were like, well, that's what we got to pay, right? I booked an Airbnb across the parking lot. I felt very proud. The other example of this, though, and I do show this in class, is Hotwire. So I don't know if you guys ever use this, but it's a great example of price discrimination. So let's say I was staying in downtown Chicago tonight, whatever. Yes, this is tonight. It's my mom's birthday. And so what you do is you put in the search, whatever, and it tells you about these deals you can get, but it hides the names of the hotel. So if I click, all right, let's say I want to stay downtown. Well, my computer's going super slow. Let's say I want to stay downtown. In the Magnificent Mile, I can get a hotel for $73 a night. I don't know what the name of the hotel is. Apparently it's one of these three things, right? So I get a deal. So basically what's happening is because I'm identifying myself as someone with an elastic demand. I'm willing to give up the predictability of knowing the hotel I stay at. So they cut me a deal, right? So I get a better deal. I went to a baby shower in Madison once, and I told all my friends, I said, go to Hotwire, and this 3-star hotel is the Sheraton. Let's all stay there. And my friend Annie just called them, and she's like, oh yeah, I paid $200. I was like, we paid $70, right? For the same hotel. So if you can pose as the elastic demand consumer, you can get a good deal. By the way, who is this good for? It's good for the hotel. Profits always increase if you can price discriminate. It's good for me, the low-paying consumer. The only group of people it's bad for are the people with the inelastic demand. And they probably just don't even know, right? Like my friend Annie didn't even know. All right, people who clip coupons versus people who do not. My friend Stephanie, which is really funny because her and her husband make more money than anyone else I know. She secretly told me that they've maxed out their IRAs, and they make too much money to even have a Roth, which means they make like $200,000 a year. Okay, so this woman Stephanie, huge coupon clipper. She'll go for runs on Sunday mornings and then dumpster dive in her neighbor's garbage cans to get extra coupons, right? She's got like huge things of coupons in this like pantry in the basement. So what's happening is she clearly cares more about prices than like I do for jelly or whatever she's buying. So she's the coupon clipper, is identifying herself as having elastic demand, and she gets the deal. I'm happy to pay more for jelly and not clip coupons, to be honest with you. All right, people who go to movies in the middle of the day versus people who go on the weekends. My parents are an example of people who go in the middle of the day. Senior citizens, retired people, they have elastic demand, right? They got all the time in the world to drive further for a cheaper movie. So they get the discount, matinees. People who go on the weekends would be, I don't go to movies, but it'd be people like me who have kids and I'm just like don't have a lot of time, so I pay the higher price. All right. This one I added last year. This is funny. People who go to the bars on Monday night versus the bars on Friday night. So I used to go to the bars on Monday night with one of my friends. I just like thought it was more fun or something. But the drinks were cheaper, right? Like I had the elastic demand. I had the pick of bars. They were all empty, right? Friday night is when you don't have the deals, right? So you don't have, I don't even, it's been so long since I've been to a bar, but like you don't have the happy hour deals or whatever. So prices are higher on Friday nights. The other thing is I used to have this micro professor in grad school. He was from South Korea. And he used to always talk about ladies' night. And it was so funny because he was so serious about it. It's like ladies' night at the bar, right? The women get the discounts because they have the elastic demand. The men want to be with the women. Anyway. So what do I expect you to know about price discrimination? It's charging different prices to different groups of people, and you charge the higher price to the group with the inelastic demand. If you got that, I'm happy. So I'm just going to do a little end of semester recap. I'm actually kind of sad that the class is ending. I've really enjoyed teaching you guys. Well, let's just talk about the main goal. So I gave you this PowerPoint slide in August. My goal was to not waste anyone's time, including myself. I think that we succeeded in this. I think there was a point in time with some of the lesson plans where I was asking too much of you as audience members. But it is a learning curve, and I think you probably still enjoy doing your own. I hope you did anyway. But I think in terms of the micro material, I think everything I taught you is useful, which was my goal. Again, you will actually learn material that's useful. I've kept this in my mind. Like, for example, we didn't do indifference curves. Not useful to you. So I've tried my best. I think we were successful here. I hope it helps you become a better teacher. I know when I'm teaching, if I know more than the students about something, they sense it, right? Like they know they can learn more from me. And so hopefully I expanded your knowledge of micro in some ways where you become a better teacher. Plus, you guys have cool tips that you shared with each other. So, you know, with a graduate class, this is like a fundamental graduate class. You're never going to learn everything, but you're going to learn enough to explore stuff on your own. So let's say you were interested in second-degree price discrimination. You know marginal revenue, you know demand curves. You could probably do that on your own. So I'm happy with that. So what have I learned from you? You guys have a really deep knowledge of economics despite being busy. In particular, your little papers about COVID were very impressive to me, the economic analysis. You guys pick up on things quickly and you do not ask for special attention. I don't think I ever had office hours with any of you individually. You just learned it all and you were great and motivated. You don't care about grades as much, which is interesting. I offered you the chance to submit corrections on the second midterm and only one of you did it. That's great. I don't think you need to care about grades, right? It's not your main priority, but it was interesting to me. And the last thing is that you guys have really cool teaching tricks. I learned a lot from you. I've already used a lot of your examples in class. You guys are doing cool teaching despite having ridiculously busy schedules and despite not having taken much econ, right? Like, that's really cool to me. It makes me happy that we have this level of teaching in our schools. So I am teaching the economics of COVID in summer 1. Hopefully I still have my roster up here. Let's see here. So summer 1 is May 17th through June 24th. I am going to try and make that class as reasonable as possible in terms of the workload. I've learned that you guys really like being able to work ahead and having flexibility with deadlines. That class will not have exams. It's going to be 2 or 3 papers, maybe 2 papers and a presentation. But I think it'll be really fun. So it's one of my favorite classes I've ever taught, and if I get a similar group to you guys, it should be great. We're also offering Econ 502 in the spring, Theory and Applications in Macra. That's taught by Professor Devaraj. She's a macro specialist. She's super great. You guys are going to like it. She's going to be offering Environmental Economics in summer 2. Mike Hsu is offering Economics of Financial Markets at some point. I don't exactly remember when. It's sometime next year. And then Professor Beck is offering Labor Economics. I believe it's still Labor Economics. That might change because that's kind of far out. But I had mentioned the Certificate in Applied Economics, so we were asked by the Indiana Dual Credit, whatever, your program, to create an 18-credit certificate for you, and so that's what I did. So hopefully if you take your classes at Valpo, I know you can take up to 18 credits, you'll get a reward from this. So please contact me if you have interest in this or questions on it. You'd be applying as a non-degree seeking student, I believe. And if you only take 12 credits with us, we also have a certificate in business economics, which you would be qualified for. So that's something I did for you. All right, so thank you very much for all your hard work this semester. I will be having a review session, so hopefully I'll see some of you again, and then we'll have our final exam, and then that's it.